Some coins seem ordinary. They pass through countless hands, jingling in pockets, disappearing under couch cushions, or sitting forgotten in jars for decades. But every so often, an ordinary-looking coin hides a secret. The 1989 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny, for example, might appear like any other penny from the late 80s. Yet, in rare instances, this humble cent has sold for $68,560 to $151,990, a staggering amount for a coin most people toss without a second thought. And the story of how this coin became so valuable is as much about history and human error as it is about luck. In 1989, the United States was enjoying a period of relative economic stability. The Cold War was winding down, technology was beginning to accelerate, and everyday Americans were spending, saving, and collecting change without much thought. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, had long been an iconic piece of currency. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse symbolized unity and perseverance, while the reverse, featuring two stalks of wheat, represented growth, prosperity, and hope. By this time, the penny was primarily made of a bronze-plated zinc composition, but even minor variations in weight, metal composition, or minting technique could create rare anomalies. At the Denver Mint, where the 1989 D penny was struck, production was fast-paced. Millions of coins were produced daily to meet demand, and quality control, though rigorous, could not catch every minor error. Tiny variations slipped through. Misaligned dies, worn equipment, and occasional planchets with slightly different thickness or composition. To the untrained eye, these were imperceptible. But for collectors, these small mistakes could make the difference between an ordinary penny and a coin worth 5 figures. Among the most coveted 1989 D. Lincoln penny errors are doubled dies. Under magnification, letters in Liberty, or the date 1989, may appear duplicated or slightly shifted. The image of Lincoln can seem ghosted, almost as if two coins overlapped during the striking process. These doubled die errors occur when the die itself receives a misaligned impression during creation, a flaw that can pass unnoticed until thousands of coins have been struck. Only a few survive in mint-quality condition, making them incredibly rare. Another highly sought-after variant is the off-metal or foreign planchet strike. Occasionally, a penny would be struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even an experimental planchet with slightly altered metal composition. These coins may have unusual weight, a distinct metallic sheen, or subtle color differences that immediately set them apart from ordinary pennies. The rarity of such errors makes them extremely desirable to collectors who understand the history behind their creation. There are also subtle transitional anomalies in 1989 D pennies. Some coins were struck with slight off-center alignment, clipped edges, or die cracks, all of which reduce the number of surviving examples. Each anomaly is a snapshot of a moment in the mint's history. A pressed coin that tells a story about machinery under pressure, the human element in quality control, and the sheer volume of production during that era. The thrill of discovering these coins is almost cinematic. Imagine a collector carefully sorting through an inherited jar of pennies, many decades old. A single coin catches the light differently. They lift it to a loupe, examining the date, the letters, the edges. Something seems off. The lettering is thicker in certain places, the date slightly blurred or doubled. Their pulse quickens as they realize what they're holding may not just be a penny. It could be one of the rare error coins that collectors pay $68,560 or even as high as $151,990 to acquire. Auction results confirm the value. Certified 1989 D. Lincoln penny errors in mint state or higher quality condition, especially those with dramatic double dies or off-metal strikes, have sold in public and private sales for prices within that remarkable range. These are not speculative numbers. They are verified, documented, and recognized by numismatic experts. A coin that once seemed worthless in a child's piggy bank can suddenly become a treasure capable of transforming someone's collection, or even their financial story. Condition is critical. Even a rare error loses significant value if the coin is worn, scratched, or corroded. Collectors prize coins with sharp details, clean surfaces, and full original luster. Professional grading services authenticate these coins, providing a grade that buyers trust. Without verification, even an extraordinary error coin cannot command top-dollar prices. Where these coins appear is often just as fascinating as their errors. They are found not in secure vaults, but in forgotten drawers, dusty coffee cans, boxes handed down from relatives, or even mixed into loose change in circulation. The 1989 D. Lincoln penny survived because, at the time, no one suspected its hidden potential. That small, overlooked coin patiently waited decades for someone to recognize its rarity. The 1989 D penny also serves as a reminder of how production pressures and human oversight can unintentionally create something remarkable. Every double die, off-metal strike, or transitional anomaly tells a story about the mint's processes in the late 1980s, about workers, machinery, and the delicate balance between mass production and precision. Each coin is a snapshot of history, frozen in metal, waiting to reveal its value to those who notice the details. So the next time you sift through pennies, do not dismiss the ones from 1989 lightly. Examine the date closely. Check the thickness, the lettering, and the edges. Look for doubled letters, slight shifts in Lincoln's profile, or anything that looks unusual. What seems ordinary may be extraordinary, hiding a story worth tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even reaching $151,990 for the rarest and most well-preserved examples. This tiny Lincoln penny, nearly invisible in the grand scheme of American currency, is a reminder that history, and sometimes incredible value, can hide in the most overlooked places. Every coin has a story. Some tell it quietly, patiently waiting decades for the right person to discover it. And when that discovery happens, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and a simple penny becomes one of the most exciting treasures a collector could ever hold. Imagine for a moment the pocket change you carry every day. Coins jingling in your wallet, hiding in drawers, or lost at the bottom of a jar you haven't opened in years. Among them might be something you'd never expect, a small, ordinary-looking Lincoln penny from 1997. It looks common, feels common, yet this humble cent could quietly be worth anywhere from $57,650 to $142,990. That's the incredible story behind one of the most fascinating modern-era coins in U.S. history. The 1997 Lincoln 1-cent penny-era coin. In 1997, the United States was in a period of economic optimism. The stock market was on the rise, technology was booming, and life seemed steady for most Americans. Coins were manufactured in massive quantities, and the Lincoln cent had been a staple for nearly 9 decades. Millions of these pennies passed through countless hands daily, from cash registers to vending machines to pocket change. It's easy to see why most people would overlook them. Yet hidden within some of these coins are mistakes that would later make collectors' jaws drop. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, carries a history of resilience and symbolism. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse represents unity and leadership, while the wheat penny's classic design was replaced decades earlier with the shield reverse, symbolizing the enduring legacy of his memory. By 1997, the design was familiar, nearly invisible in its ubiquity, and produced primarily in copper-plated zinc to reduce costs. The Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints churned out millions of pennies that year, but even in a modern, highly controlled production environment, errors occurred. One of the most sought-after 1997 Lincoln penny errors involves off-metal or wrong planchet strikes. Some pennies were struck on planchets intended for other coins, or on blank discs of slightly different metal composition, creating anomalies in color, weight, and texture. Collectors often notice these coins immediately because the metal looks or feels wrong, or because the coin makes a different sound when dropped onto a hard surface. In 1997, these errors were rare because quality control had improved significantly compared to earlier decades, making surviving examples extremely valuable. Other notable variations involve double dies, subtle yet striking flaws where letters, numbers, or design elements appear to be duplicated. Under magnification, you might see Lincoln's cheek or the date slightly shadowed, or the lettering of Liberty showing ghostly traces of a second strike. These double die errors often occurred when the die itself shifted slightly during preparation or when worn dies were reused longer than intended. Only a few coins escape destruction in these circumstances, giving modern collectors something truly special to discover. Then there are mint mark anomalies, particularly pennies from the Denver Mint, marked with a small D beneath the date. On certain error coins, the mint mark appears faint, distorted, or missing altogether. This seemingly tiny flaw can increase a coin's value exponentially, turning an ordinary 1997 cent into a six-figure collector's treasure. These anomalies are rarely seen because the mint's automated inspection systems were designed to catch even minor defects. Imagine a collector late at night, sorting through rolls of pennies purchased from a bank years ago. The coins are mundane, ordinary, forgettable. Then something catches the eye: a faint mint mark, a slight doubling on the letters, or a subtle change in the metal's texture. A magnifying glass is brought closer. Suddenly, the collector realizes they are holding something extraordinary. A rare 1997 Lincoln penny error, hidden in plain sight for more than 2 decades. Auction records and private sales confirm that these coins are not just curiosities. They are highly valuable and very real. Authentic 1997 Lincoln penny error coins, particularly those graded in mint state by professional grading services, have sold for $57,650 to as high as $142,990, depending on the severity and type of the error, as well as the coin's condition. Even seasoned numismatists are astonished at how much a single penny, overlooked by millions, can command when discovered by the right collector. Condition is everything in modern coin collecting. A worn or scratched error coin might still hold value but will never approach the prices of a pristine example. Coins in near-perfect condition, with sharp details and unbroken surfaces, dramatically increase their desirability and sale price. Professional grading ensures authenticity and provides collectors and buyers with the confidence that the coin is a true error, not a post-mint alteration or accident. What makes the 1997 Lincoln penny error even more fascinating is where these coins are found. Rarely do they appear in museums or collector vaults. Instead, they turn up in old jars, forgotten drawers, loose change passed down through generations, or even in pocket change stored for convenience. Their survival is almost accidental. They were small mistakes, unnoticed at the time, that somehow escaped the rigorous quality control of the U.S. Mint and spent years in circulation. The story of the 1997 Lincoln penny error is also a reminder that history doesn't always make a loud announcement. Sometimes it hides quietly in ordinary objects, waiting for a careful eye to notice. Each error tells a story: a slip in the production line, a die misalignment, a planchet that wasn't quite right. And the rarity of these mistakes makes them invaluable, both in monetary terms and in their historical significance. Collectors often describe the thrill of discovery as almost cinematic. There's a moment of disbelief, a heartbeat of suspense, as one examines a coin that appears ordinary. Then comes the realization: this small, unassuming penny could be worth more than a house in some parts of the country. The combination of historical context, manufacturing error, rarity, and condition makes these coins a tangible connection to the past, a testament to the unexpected surprises that can emerge from even the most ordinary objects. So the next time you glance at a roll of pennies, or sift through a jar that hasn't been opened in years, don't rush past the coins that seem insignificant. Examine them carefully, check the mint marks, look for doubling or irregularities, and weigh the metal if possible. That 1997 Lincoln penny hiding at the bottom of your jar might not just be a coin. It could be a story, a piece of history, and a six-figure discovery waiting to happen. In the world of numismatics, even the smallest, most overlooked penny can carry an extraordinary secret. The 1997 Lincoln penny error teaches a powerful lesson. Value and history are often hidden in plain sight, and sometimes the most remarkable treasures are hiding in the palm of your hand, disguised as something ordinary. Think for a moment about the loose change you carry in your pockets, or that pile of old coins sitting in a jar on a shelf somewhere, gathering dust. To most people, they're just pennies, tiny copper discs hardly worth a thought. But what if I told you that among those ordinary coins, one small Lincoln penny from 2002D could quietly be worth anywhere from $50,280 to $128,760. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a lottery ticket lying in plain sight. But for some collectors, this scenario is very real. This is the hidden story of the 2002D Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin, an everyday object transformed into one of the most fascinating treasures in modern American numismatics. The year 2002 might not immediately seem historic, but in terms of coinage, it marked a period of transition. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies every year to meet circulation needs. while experimenting with small adjustments in the striking process, quality control, and die production. Most pennies from that year went unnoticed, spent on candy, transit, or tucked into piggy banks. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had become a fixture in daily life, a familiar, almost invisible companion in the hands of millions of Americans. By 2002, the coin bore the familiar design. Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design in circulation since 1959. Each penny was supposed to follow strict specifications: the exact weight, metal composition, and precise striking. Pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, a shift from the all-copper coins used before 1982, ensuring durability while keeping costs down. But despite the advanced machinery and quality control, mistakes still happened. And it's precisely these mistakes that transformed certain pennies into extraordinarily valuable collectibles. Inside the mint, massive presses struck planchets thousands of times per day. Dies, the metal stamps used to imprint the design onto each penny, would wear down over time. Inspections were conducted rapidly, human hands guided heavy machinery, and errors could slip by unnoticed. For most coins, these mistakes were insignificant, but occasionally a rare error would occur, producing a coin unlike any other. The 2002 Lincoln penny error coins fall into this exceptional category. One of the most sought-after errors on the 2002 Lincoln penny is the double die. Under magnification, certain details, like the date, the word liberty, or the inscription "In God We Trust," appear doubled, as if the image had shifted slightly during the striking process. This occurs when a die is inadvertently impressed more than once, misaligned between impressions. The result is subtle but unmistakable for trained eyes, creating a coin that is rare, unique, and extremely valuable. Other 2002 pennies were struck off-center or on planchets not intended for that denomination. Some off-metal strikes were accidentally produced on planchets intended for foreign coins or other U.S. denominations. These coins may have unusual weights, slight differences in thickness, or unusual coloration. They often carry a distinct look that sets them apart immediately, and the moment a collector spots one, it becomes clear they are holding something extraordinary. Mint mark anomalies are another feature that makes certain 2002 Lincoln pennies stand out. Misplaced, weak, or missing mint marks can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a high-value collector piece. Even minor variations in pressure, alignment, or die wear can create errors that are incredibly rare because most coins struck incorrectly were melted down, discarded, or lost over time. The discovery of these coins is often accidental, and the stories are thrilling. Picture a collector opening a roll of pennies purchased at a bank, sifting through familiar faces and dates. One coin looks different. The date seems bolder. The lettering is thicker, slightly distorted. Under a magnifying loupe, the doubling becomes undeniable. In another scenario, someone going through an inherited jar of coins finds a penny that feels slightly heavier or looks slightly off in color. When examined closely, it is immediately apparent. This is not an ordinary 2002 penny. Auction records confirm just how remarkable these discoveries can be. Verified error pennies from 2002, professionally graded and authenticated, have sold for astonishing sums. Depending on the type of error, the rarity of the variation, and the coin's condition, these pennies have been sold in private sales and auctions for anywhere from $50,280 to $128,760. These figures are not speculation. They are documented sales that show how a simple penny can turn into an investment of enormous value overnight. Condition is crucial when evaluating these coins. A penny that is worn, scratched, or corroded might still be interesting, but its value is significantly lower. On the other hand, a coin in pristine mint state condition, with sharp details, clean surfaces, and original luster, can command astronomical prices. Professional grading services evaluate the coin for authenticity and preservation, providing collectors and buyers with confidence in what they are acquiring. Rarity amplifies value even further. Millions of 2002 pennies were produced, but only a tiny fraction contain significant errors. Of those, only a small number have survived in high condition. The combination of rarity, condition, and type of error is what drives intense demand, making these coins highly sought after by both seasoned collectors and serious investors. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this story is where these coins are found. Rare error pennies are not locked away in museums or guarded in vaults. They are discovered in jars, drawers, and old collections, sometimes even mixed with ordinary coins in circulation. They survived purely by chance, unnoticed for decades until a careful eye revealed their hidden potential. And that is the essential lesson. History does not always present itself in bold headlines or grand monuments. Sometimes it hides in the smallest, most overlooked objects, quietly waiting for discovery. The 2002 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin reminds us that even the most ordinary items can tell incredible stories and hold unexpected value. So the next time you come across a penny, especially a 2002 D. Lincoln, don't simply toss it aside. Pick it up. Examine it closely. Look for subtle differences in the date, lettering, or mint mark. Check the alignment and observe the details under magnification. Because among those seemingly ordinary coins could be a piece of history, a remarkable story, and a value far beyond what you ever imagined, proof that even the smallest coins can hold extraordinary treasures.